Hey everyone, welcome back to the First Alert Playbook. I'm Dugan Lloyd here as ECU football. They're looking to rebound from what was a tough loss at UTSA, losing 58-24 in the Lone Star State. Blake Harrell met with media this morning in his weekly press conference, as we'll hear his reaction on the loss to the Roadrunners right here.
Just going back to Saturday, obviously a disappointing loss. You know, especially after we'd set the standard pretty high. And I talked to our players about that this morning. Just we have a high expectation, a high standard for ourselves, and didn't meet that on Saturday. And they played their best football of the season, and we probably played our worst of the season. And I can't exactly put a finger on exactly what it was or what went wrong or, you know, those things. So numerous things for sure. But just felt like we never got the momentum in the dome there. You know, first third down, run a sail route and get, you know, doesn't get free there, probably get held on it. And we get a third down stop defensively, and we get called for targeting. 2 plays later we have a pick, and they knock it out of our hands. So that was kind of the story of the day. You know, JC breaks a big run across the 50, then gets a little loose of the ball, trying to get extra yards. And all of our guys are just fighting for a little extra, trying to make a play, and next thing you know, it goes the other way.
Oh, a tough loss to put them out of the conference race in the American this year. The season still long from over, though. With a win this upcoming week, ECU could make a little bit of recent history. They haven't been 8-4 in the regular season since 2014, and as for the conference, since joining the American, they have not been a 6-win conference ball club since. So with FAU in mind this Saturday, here's Blake Harrell looking ahead to how to mentally rebound from what was a tough weekend to next weekend.
What I told our players this morning is just, hey, they've done a really good job this all year, is reset, refocus on FAU, 1-0. And I think your job as a leader, whether it's the head football coach, whether it's a husband at home, whether it's a head of your company, is never get too high or never get too low. When things are really good, you can't be on top of the world. And you got to keep everybody in check. And I think that when things are too low, you got to be the positive guy and energy guy going around practice and make sure everybody's pushing forward and looking out the windshield and not the rear view. I think I heard Mike Elko say it last week. You got to be the opposite of what your team is. So if your team's down low, you got to be, you know, the energy guy. If your team's up high, you got to be the bad guy going around practice. And I kind of agree with that.
Well, that's worked for Elko and Texas A&M so far. We'll see if that works for the Pirates coming up. The little game details as they head to Boca Raton this weekend. ECU going to kick off at noon with the Owls. They're a team that's only got 4 wins on the season, but again, this one in Florida, so outside of Dowdy-Ficklin, it'll wrap up the regular season finale as ECU tries to make that final push for their bowl game selection. As for high school, a lot on the line as well in the playoffs. This will be the 4th round across the state with 7 p.m. kickoffs across the board. We've got our full highlight show coming up on the End Zone at 11 per usual. As for most schools, this is the quarterfinals, while in 1A and 8A, it is the semifinals. They'll get the bye next week, while everyone else still in action for the semifinals. We'll have it all the rest of the way these next couple weeks as it's really heating up here in the ENC. We thank you for watching this edition of the First Alert Playbook here on our live stream. I'm Dugan Lloyd. We'll be back next week at 2:30 and have more programming and news and weather throughout the day.